Hello, this is a quick video summarizing or outlining some of the key features in the Salish Mushrooms morel map. So I'm just going to the morel map up here in the menu, and you can see that there's a login up here at the top, but some basic features still work when one is not logged in. So this is what a person would see if they are just demoing this or testing it out. So without being logged in, you can see that we can zoom in and we see these dots here, centroids, for where there are burn areas outlined. But at a certain level of zoom, these centroids won't be visible. We can find some information about these maps up here in this control panel. Here are some base map options, some layer options, soil temperature and snow, and then a filter for filtering suitable burns. And that's kind of loosely defined on just burn areas that are in forested places that overlaps with public land, and those burns are, of some reasonable size. So a couple of just basic qualifiers. I am going to log in so that we can see this a little bit different way. Okay, now that I'm logged in, the most significant difference that we would see is that as we zoom in, one, we can see that we can zoom all the way in to see specific, like very specific, um, details on each of these burn areas. Also, we have an outline of the burn perimeter for most of these burns, and then we can click on specific burns for some basic details, or if we want to view more detailed information. I have an outline of just the area summary, and then some information on the size, the elevation range, and current snow coverage, and that's based on kind of the most recent available data. And so that could be maybe up to a week old, but is pretty accurate in most instances. I have a section for seasonal updates here that I will be updating maybe weekly as the season progresses. I think that this will be a useful way to just get a quick narrative on what is going on at many of these burns. Now, this narrative, these seasonal updates, is kind of programmatically created. So it's built off of using some of the recorded temperature data and snow data. So it might be a little bit behind and may not always be perfect, but I think that this is can still be a useful component to the information that you're getting from these burns. I'll try to keep it updated on what the general average soil temp is. That's based on just satellite recorded readings and isn't going to be specific to, say, like the north and south side of the slopes or at different elevations, but can be an okay indicator of just general average soil temperature for the area overall, but and won't be very specific. And I think that that really covers it for here. I'm going to open up this info panel to show a couple more things that are useful. This is just a quick explanation on what these different areas, what is available in within this control panel. But then, if you are a Gaia GPS or Onyx user, and you're already using that as your as a navigation tool, I have an ability here for you to download the KML file that includes most of the burns in Oregon and Washington that you can upload directly to Gaia, and I believe Onyx. I'm not totally sure on what file types Onyx prefers, but if that is of interest to you, you can download this KML file and load it directly into Gaia for sure. And for those who have other applications that they are using and would like to get some of this information loaded into, you can just check in with me, and I'd be happy to work with you on figuring that out. So that's just a download KML file, and I will show this briefly as well. So I'll just click on, I will click on download, and so now that's downloading, and I will walk through what that process looks like here in a moment. Another of the kind of the capabilities or tools here is a soil temperature reading, and this is just like a visual representation of soil temperature around the area. So I'm using yellow and to indicate as we're getting kind of closer to the mid 40s, and then for soil temperature, and as we get warmer, it should be turning more to a an orange color. The cold areas you can see are quite blue, and so right now today and at March 10th, we can see that along the southern Oregon coast and along the I-5 corridor in Oregon and up into the lower Puget Sound area, those areas are starting to warm up, and we already know that there are starting to be some morels popping up around the region in these low elevation areas. Not burn morels; these are the landscape morels that are showing up in urban areas on like wood chips. But still, this can be a useful indicator of when conditions are starting to get closer to useful around the region. Another layer I have here is the snow cover layer, and this is just helpful for seeing what areas are going to be totally out of the realm of possibility just due to snow cover. And we can see that many of these lower elevation areas we're just around in Oregon right now, and we can toggle this on and off to keep a sense for where we are. What we can see in many of these parts around Oregon, snow isn't an issue already. But if we just zoom in here to this, the lane burn, and see that snow really isn't a problem other than I would guess that this is just a high elevation area over here, higher elevation towards Fairview Peak. And that just gives us a sense for where areas would not be useful when we're looking at some of these higher elevation burns. And then we can see just as we look out to the east, where there still is a fair amount of snow cover up in the mountains. So that can be useful. And then finally, I did mention that there is a filter over here for just filtering suitable burns, and this is imperfect. I'll improve it as I continue to add data for what I think qualifies a suitable burn. But this is just a method that a person could use for removing burns that maybe are not on public land or are not in forested area. That is, it will get better, but it's an okay way to kind of focus your attention on some of the what I have already labeled as suitable burns. Now, I will take a moment to talk through how to use the KML file. So earlier, you saw that I had just downloaded this KML file and just to my computer. Now, what I'm going to do is send this to myself on my mobile device and show you how you can load this and what you can be viewing from an application like Gaia. Now from Gaia, I have already just saved this KML file to my device here, and now I want to load it into Gaia. And now I don't know the exact instructions for doing this in Onyx, but for any of you who are Onyx users and would like to be working with this KML file or be able to view these burn perimeters in Onyx, please do just reach out, and I'd be happy to investigate how we can set this up for Onyx users as well. In the meantime, here are the instructions for doing this in Gaia. I'm going to go to, I don't know, maybe settings. Let's go to saved. Okay, saved. I already have this loaded. You can see at the top here, Burn 2025, Oregon, Washington, KML, but I'm just going to pretend for a moment that that doesn't exist. Maybe I'll just close it. Now I clicked on the menu here at the top right, import file. And here I'm going to select that KML file. And here you can see that file, those areas have just finished loading. So now let's go to our map and take a look. So we'll just zoom into a burn that is enormous and not many people are likely to go visit, just to prevent too many people from getting excited about all of the same burn. So here we're looking at the Pioneer burn, and here you can see just in the details down here the name of that burn. I don't have much other information that I include on the KML file for these burns yet. I just don't know how many people are going to be using this and how much interest there will be. But for those who are Gaia users and really just want to see these burn outlines, you can see this very easily. And the nice thing about using Gaia is we already have many of the other layers that are useful for Gaia users, like just seeing the topology, seeing trails, and having the ability to save points of interest or lots of other capabilities. But here, now that we have our burn perimeter loaded into Gaia, we can just say zoom into an area like this, up towards at the northern tip of Lake Chelan in the Stehekin area, and see things like, how can I access this burn? And maybe along the Stehekin Valley Road here. We could also look at items like, what is the topology in this area, and how easy or difficult might it be to access some of these more interior sections. So we can see that maybe there's this ridge here in the middle, where this kind of dives in. We can see that maybe accessing an area like this might not be too difficult if we follow it up on this ridge over to the left. I can't draw this for you using my current screen recording. So here are just some nice ways that you can use these burn perimeters as the KML file that you can use to load into Gaia and do lots of other useful things with. If you have questions or some other capabilities that you're looking for, please do send me a note directly. Or if you're having any troubles using other features on this map, I'd be happy to look into it and hopefully work on any solutions that you might need. Thanks for watching.